Do you have a dog that constantly reacts when people come to the door, hear a noise outside, or hear a noise inside? What if I told you that I can actually help you with this? With one little skill today, that's going to make a huge difference. It's going to stop them from reacting, and it might even actually get them to do something that you want them to do when they hear that noise. Today I'm working with Kristen and her dog, Louie. I'm Kyle. Welcome back to McCann Dogs. Sometimes in dog training, what you want to hear is very different than what you need to hear. Now in this video, in the second half of this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. And that's going to be an exercise on how to combat unwanted barking. But really it's going to mean absolutely nothing unless you watch the first half of the video, which is exactly what you need to hear. Now I could be like other dog trainers on YouTube and tell you just what you want to hear, but I'm not going to do that. I'm a professional. I'm going to make sure you have all the facts in order to be successful. In the first half of the video, I'm going to teach you all about how to read your dog's body language so that you can predict when your dog might start to bark. We're also going to look a little bit at handling. How should you react to the dog? How should you touch the dog? How should you use your leash or other training tools that you're working on? We're also going to talk about proper corrections. What kind of dog do you have? And what type of feedback do they require? Because every dog's a bit different. And last, and probably the most important, is timing. If you don't get this right, the rest of it's not going to work. In the second half of the video, we're going to do all of those skills that I just talked about, and we're going to do an exercise. We're going to use counter conditioning, so let's get into it. Video. So just what I've noticed from him, just in the 10 seconds I've spent with him now, even just when I came in, is that he does have an anxious personality. A lot of the stuff is like he's not really sure. So when the camera moves or when I open the door and I surprised him, his first reaction is to go, I'm not too sure. Typically, what happens with a dog like this is when they are already sort of lacking a little bit of confidence in some areas of their life, or they tend to be a bit more anxious. These dogs really need very clear leadership, but in a very calm, assertive way. Not a lot of energy back. There are some dogs who need a bit firmer energy. These dogs need that, but with calmness, so that it can kind of pave the way to say, I'm calm. But what they don't do well with is things that are wishy-washy, because they're already a little unsure. If the information that they get is not super clear, it keeps them in that state of, I'm not too sure what the expectation is, or I'm not too sure what I'm supposed to do in this situation. So it kind of just keeps them feeling that way. That makes total sense. What happens is when you're a new dog owner, or you've not had a dog with his temperament before, or whatever, the dog reacts this way, and you're not really sure what to do. It's sometimes hard to know, so let's talk about this right now. One thing that tends to happen, if he's a little bit spooky, is that our reaction is to kind of soothe him, just to settle him. But what the best thing to do would be is to interrupt him. I would do that with a correction. But again, as I said, it's not going to be like a knock it off kind of thing. It's just going to be a, hey, knock it off. That's enough. Good boy, and then immediate praise. Nope, knock it off. Good. Now see how fast I was? Because what happens? Hi, good. It's okay. Yeah, come see me. Good. I said, knock it off. Good. Settle. So I'm actually hoping the camera will be able to pick this up. What's happening is, I'm reading his body language. When he starts, I'm going to actually let him do it now. You'll see. See? He looks, I don't know if you can see his mouth right now, but he will close his mouth tight and he'll get tension in his body. All of those things will start to happen before he vocally makes a reaction. And typically, what happens when we have dogs that will react and bark and will go over the top is all of the little pre-cues, start to happen that we don't see clearly. Unless you need to look for them, you don't see them. Also, they happen very fast, and then the dog fully reacts, and now we're dealing with a dog that's fully in that flight or whatever mode, and then it's harder to bring them back down. So when we have a dog that's a little bit like this, what we want to try and do is look for the, hey, that's enough. That's it. Good, there you go. Now also, when I did that, his eyes started to soften a little bit, and now that yawn that he just did, that's called a stress yawn. Now, it's not a stress yawn as in, oh my God, I'm tired or I'm afraid. It's, I'm getting new information at a new time frame very quickly. and he's sort of going, whoa, what is this sort of thing? Exactly. That's the perfect word for it. Processing. So it's not like he's having an upset time, but he's good. That's good, little Joy. Wow. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm interrupting him, but I'm being quite firm and being quick. But then notice right after when I sort of saw him go, okay, sorry, and the eyes soften and the body softens, I immediately say, that's enough of that. Stop. Hey, stop. That's it. Good. Then I praise with my voice. Now, the other thing that's important, and in this particular situation, just because we want to have a conversation, but this could lead into when he's in the crate or whatever, is what I don't want to do is keep going through this thing where he makes a noise. I tell him, good boy, that's better. I tell him to knock it off, and then I praise him, and then we repeat itself. So if this goes on too many times, what I would want to do is change up the setting. So I might get up and move him. I might, once he's settled, his mouth is open right now. He's curious. He's looking in a curious way. He's not looking in an, I'm going to react way. So when I see that, I might give him a bone to chew, or give him a Kong, or give him something that switches there. Good, that's nice. Give him something that switches his mind frame so that he can't lock on. Now, knowing him, if all of a sudden something was to quickly happen, he would probably react right away. But what's that? And then if you choose, good choice, my love, that is the best guy. Good. So I want to be really balanced with, I don't really like this behavior, and you need to do something very fast about it because we want to get ahead of that full reaction fault. Good. I love how he's turning to look back at you like that with those soft eyes. Hi, Mom. I love you. And so those are the types of things that we really want to reinforce. But also our reinforcement also needs to be calm because he can get goes up. So when we pet, when we talk, you should sort of have a very soothing energy to you with how you touch him. Not good boy. Anything like that. If I want relaxation, good boy. Just really, that's nice. Good. Nice and soothing. Okay, so we're going to take Kristen and Louie over to a door in the studio now, just to kind of mimic what things might look like at home. And we're going to see if we can work on some conditioning exercises to help them have a better reaction when people come in the door. Demonstration. So essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to start a little bit of association. So Dan's going to make a noise with the door, something that sort of catches his attention. As soon as you hear that sound, you're going to take a piece of food out, make it very easy, lure him onto the bed. On your bed, reward him, and then we're going to kind of go from there. And this is just the start of, you hear this. Instead of reacting the way that you want to, this is what you're going to do instead. Okay, Dan, any type of noise that you want to make, go for it. Okay, on your bed, nice. Good, that's it, down, good. Excellent, good, very good. Okay, this is just a very small thing, boy, but it's like a nitpicky thing that I think is good. Face him this way. Yeah, or even at you. Okay. Yeah, just because I want everything to be about you right now versus his back. Yeah. So even when you get on and you just give your wrist a little flick so that he's facing you, that way when you're rewarding him, you're engaging him. You guys are facing each other. That would be great. Good point. Okay. What you did really well there is your timing was excellent. And this is a part that a lot of people kind of mess up. They sort the door knocks, and then they kind of wait to see if the dog makes a reaction. And in this step, it is crucial that we don't want him to react. So I need to make sure that I'm getting him on the bed as fast as you were. That was perfect. Don't wait for him to react. Just say, here's the noise. This is what we do. So that I want this to be like, it should seem so easy that it's like, well, obviously he's good at this. That's the point. Gotcha. Right. Okay, Dan, let's go again. Little noise. On your bed. On your bed. On your bed. Good. Lie down. That's a good boy. And then you're just going to stand up beside him for a second. Good boy. And I love that he's already staying on the bed. Reward again. Yes. Good. Okay, Dan, go ahead and make another knock. Yes. Good boy. Good. Your yes. Excellent. Good choice. Good choice. Good. Okay. And then you can release him off. Okay. Yay. Good job. Good. Good job. He says, okay, I'm into this. I like this stuff. Okay, Dan, let's go again. On your bed. On your bed. Come on. Yes, down. Good job. Okay, then stand up again. Good. Okay, Dan, this time you're going to go in and out of the door a little bit. And be loud. Don't be quiet about it. Yes. And feed. Good. Yes, yes. That's perfect. Good. And then come back in. Nice. Yes. Good boy. Good. So we're just sort of counter-conditioning him, and I love that he's looking, but you see how he's looking, and his little nose is going back and forth. He's looking in a very curious way. Good. He's like, yes. Oh, okay. So now we're going to interrupt. Hey, that's enough. Nope. That's enough. Good. Stop. That's it. Sit. Knock it off. Good boy. That's better. There. And reward. Yes, that's good. Okay, and then let's go ahead. On your, oh, there we go. Since I'm going to go on my bed. On your bed. Yep. Sit. Yeah. Down. Good. Thank you. Yes. That's the ticket. That's good. Good, good. Okay, so the outside-inside thing was good. Yeah. Okay, so in the middle of a sudden, we get a bit of reaction. Now, this is where things get a bit confusing. If we are escalated, what we don't want to do is do the food route anymore, because that's the same thing as being good. Okay, so I'm going to interrupt firmly, get him sitting, get him doing more controlled position. As soon as he sort of was like, he wasn't completely, I'm okay with it, but he was looking, but he was not reacting. He was sort of going. Now I give him a job to do. Okay, can we try that again? That was really helpful. Okay, off? Yeah, just let him off for a second. Okay, good job, buddy. Here. Good there. Good. Okay, now let's have him go on his bed right now because, you see, on your bed. He heard the door slide. On your bed. Yes. Good. Good boy. Just stand up for a second. Don't say anything. Which do I want to see? Good reward. Good. So I actually really love that because he could have chosen to be like, I know there's something happening in there, and he could have pulled his attention away from you, but he chose to stay engaged with you. And I think that's a really, really good choice. Again, these are small things that sometimes we don't see, but if we sort of understand that that's a good choice, we can take an opportunity to reward it. It seems so small, but right now you're molding and shaping him to think a little differently about these scenarios. Okay, leave that door open. Go to the patio door again, and then open it up. Now I want you just to start talking to him. Kristen, yep, we'll put him on his bed for a sec. Good, on your bed, good boy. Good, on your bed, good. Get your food ready because we're gonna go real fast. Good, yes, we're with that. Yes, good, no reaction. Good. So the other thing that's helpful about this is because he's already on the bed doing a job. Sometimes it's easier to keep the dog in a more mindful state versus letting him be like, all of a sudden he's randomly in the house and then something happens out of the blue. Leave that. So see his mouth got a little tighter there. So just maybe ask him to lie back down on his bed. Give him a job. Okay, down. Yep. Good. Good boy. Good. So he's very clear about his energy changing, which is great. When he's relaxed right now, he's more curious. His nose is going back and forth. His ears are forward, but he's not super tense with his body. When he's about to go, he tightens up a little bit, and that's sort of one of the things that you can kind of look for. Good. Now he's just sort of chill. Yay. Good. Okay, good to see you. We could keep doing this over and over and over again, but I think the best thing to do is just to make sure that you know the steps. Now, if he gets off the bed like that, now I would just place him down into the bed. So just, yep, on your bed. Good. And then just praise him. Good. Thank you. Good boy. Keep that rule in there that if you're on the bed, stay on the bed until I release you. And then in this case, you don't reward because they broke. That's right. Yeah, maybe you wait for 5-6 seconds. You could reward now because now it clearly is for staying. It's not for you having to put them back on. Okay, yeah, good job. Yeah, so really what we want to do now is, I think you have a good handle on the steps. So now this is just something you're going to go home and replicate. Knowing when you're going to reinforce and when you're going to be a little firmer with him to say, you know what, that's enough. But then the cool thing about setting it up this way is I can't tell the Amazon guy to walk up to the house 5 times. So you can do like I said now. Dan knocked the door. Now go. We made it harder and easier based on what Dan was doing. Yes. Good follow through. Good job. Awesome. But that's another thing. It helps. You're going to get a stress yawn right now. Good. Okay, so I actually really love stress yawns, only because I feel like he's processing, because he's like, oh my gosh, mom's really kind of making me toe the line a little bit here, which is good. That's a really good thing. He's still really thinking. Oops, oops, lie down. I can go right into the down. That's even better. Down, down. Good boy. Excellent. Good. That's better. Good. The other thing that I want you to be able to do when he's there is, if he got up, by asking him to go lie down again. And he's doing a really good job of listening to you. But if you had told him to lie down and he was being maybe a little bit more defiant and chose not to, so what I would do is, hey, lie down. Actually, just place him. Good boy, good choice. You do want to have that as a backup, because if you say down, he was listening really well. Each time you asked him, he did listen, which was wonderful. But there are going to be times where he's like, oh, I'd rather sniff this or I'd rather do that. So that's that follow through, because most people would resort back to a cookie. And then the dog goes, I know exactly how to get that cookie. So you don't have to be super forceful about it. He accepted my placement wonderfully. So I would just follow through that way. Again, it's like you have to throw a little lie down. That's better. Good boy. A little, you must in there. But again, see how fast. Yeah, you shouldn't have to train your dog alone. And that's exactly why we've developed programs that you can take with us both in person and online. That way you'll never have to question anything else in your dog training. Now, if you're ready for support like that, you can join us in the thousands of dog owners that have made a commitment to have a well-behaved, four-legged family member. Now, if you have a dog that barks at distractions out of their crate, you may also have a dog that barks inside their crate. So to learn a little bit more about how to stop that behavior, check out that video right there. On that note, I'm Kale. Happy training.